It is extremely rich with identity. By the way, I like the view of the front from here. Like, look at this. Wow, this looks like something I've seen on public transports. Right here is the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. Very big step ahead, guys. This is the mark of a new chapter for Volkswagen. One thing that has to be remarked is that the T6 was often thought to be a facelift version of the T5 because there was barely many differences happening. The only difference, well, the visual shape remained the same. Volkswagen has earned a reputation for playing it evolutionary with their cars, and this is very evident with the Golf, with the Polo, and with the wonderful legendary Transporter, guys. Speaking of community and the, relating to a Volkswagen Transporter, all those aspects, here in Belgium, since the late 2000s, this changed. This concept of having a Volkswagen Transporter as a community vehicle or as a family car that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, yeah, well, times changed. In the late 2000s, this concept was abandoned, and I don't know if it was done deliberately or if it was just done because times changed, people moved on, generations have changed, and now it seems like here in Belgium, these have become popular as company vehicles, and I believe this correlates with taxation laws here in Belgium. I cannot speak for the rest of Europe because I don't know what is their taxation laws like, but the Volkswagen Transporter has quite a big name here in Belgium. When it comes to the mass market or premium market, it remains a bit of a mystery who exactly is Volkswagen competing against, because there was a time Volkswagen cars were mass market, but they had an exceptional quality of being good quality. That's it. They had the best build, always 5-star safety in the crash tests, and yes, it was like always one of the most solid choices and desirable cars as well. But as for price and such, it seems as though Volkswagen has gone up the premium path, because nowadays they seem very different to other mass market brands like Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Peugeot, Citroën, you name it, guys, and especially Ford. So it's to me it's a bit mysterious who exactly is Volkswagen competing against at this point, but it's safe to assume perhaps Alfa Romeo, something like that, because I have the same feeling about Alfa Romeo. I don't know who is Alfa Romeo competing against. This Volkswagen T7 Multivan costs 81,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? Well, we're gonna find out in a moment, everyone. Let's get on with this review right now. But before doing so, I'm just gonna tell you all that Volkswagen has earned a consistent reputation for good quality, best safety, well, one of the best in the automotive industry. But at the same time, they've earned a reputation for adding an additional cost to each and every option you choose. So, value for money was never Volkswagen's toughest card, but desirability was always there. They always had the richest of identity. Now over here is a 1.4 hybrid petrol engine, guys. How economic is that? And it produces 160 kilowatts. Just about enough punch for a proper acceleration, guys. And trust me, it's just what you need for a van of this size and of this weight. Here is the exterior design of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. And I have to confess, it is extremely rich with identity. I was lost for words when I first saw it. In fact, I froze when I first saw it. So I'm going to tell you all a list of places where there's a strong sign of identity. First of all, the headlights looks like a reference to the previous generation, the T6. But then if you look at this lining, yes, it looks like a reference to the T6, but pay attention, everyone. This was with Volkswagen since the T3 even. In fact, you see this continuous headlight. This reminds me of the Volkswagen T3 because there was an edition which had headlights like these. In fact, there were two types of Volkswagen T3s. One which had a circular headlight, but then there was another one where they would have twin headlights, square headlights. Oh yes, everyone, you do get a 360-degree parking camera. Front design, I don't know if it's just me, but it reminds me of a concept car that existed 10 years ago. I don't know what's the name of that concept car, but Now, I don't know if it's just me, but from certain angles, like especially when you see this particular design, this looks like a tradition you would see on minivans, on MPVs. So basically a family car smaller than this. Rear lights were very interesting because they reminded me of the third generation transporter, the Volkswagen T3. I don't know if it's just me, but something about the design has a lot of resemblance to the T3 model. It's very interesting what I'm seeing right here, guys. Very interesting. Worth remarking is that Volkswagen has always been obsessed with straight lines, and there's always a straight line on the side of the transporter. It started since the T4, I believe, or even before that. Even on the T3 there was a straight line on the side, and it's always like this, guys. It goes on the side of the vehicle, and then right here I like how everything is just so linear. I mean, look at this. The windows are continuous. Wow. So whilst exploring the exterior design of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan, I have to confess I was very impressed, but then at the same time I noticed some questionable aspects. The first questionable aspect I'd like to remark is that for some reason, for a price of 81,000 euros, you're given what looks like a bit of plastic over here that has no purpose whatsoever. I believe this could have been used as a trim or something, like there could have been written something fancy, or maybe this could have been a piano black trim. But to have these right here is a bit random and it has no purpose. Another questionable aspect I'd like to remark, but it's just a question of taste, guys, and that is for Volkswagen to have an extra window right here increases visibility, but in terms of identity, I feel like it was better when the A-pillar was single, like, you know, it was just one single pillar and everything, you know, make it more like Volkswagen-ish, you know, more German or something, make it more transporter-ish. But to make it with this sort of window kind of confuses the identity a little bit, because like from this angle one could mistake it for a minivan. Or time to explore the interior of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. Alrighty everyone, this is the interior of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. Wow. Okay. Looks very, very nice. So it's becoming very obvious and evident to me that Volkswagen has adopted this very similar concept like every other Volkswagen car. I saw this in the Caddy, I saw this in the Polo. In fact, I believe the Polo was the first Volkswagen car to have this concept of having this entire thing tilt towards the driver's side. And then also the Golf has this, but the Golf has it even more interesting because they get this whole thing digital and everything, which is cool. In fact, this concept was also on Audi. Like, I think Audi was the first one to get this in the Volkswagen group. But it's good. So here, this is how it goes. Over here, you get the infotainment system and you get the climate controls. Very simplistic. So Volkswagen has gone very simple with the interior design. Over here, you get the digital instrument cluster. Very nice. Over there, you get your handbrake. That's a bit funny. It's a bit isolated. And your start-stop button is right there. And then you get extra lighting controls right here. Wow. And this is your steering wheel. So by the way, this is a nice Volkswagen steering wheel. I don't know if it's just me, but the quality feels a bit firm. I really like the presentation, first of all, guys. I love the color of this material, beige, and then you get this nice trim, and you get the wood. I'm a very big fan of wooden trim, guys. It's so nice, and it's like a yacht. It's very luxurious. Look at this. I love this combination right here. I am absolutely stunned by what I'm looking at, guys. Very good. And I just love this piano beige. You see, well, I call it piano because it's just so smooth, and then it's just so nice, guys. Oh, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. Let's cover practicality. Practicality in this Volkswagen T7 Multivan should be good. So you get a storage solution right here. Very nice. A bit small, a bit narrow, but it can fit some things in there. Huh. The glove box is not that big. It's deep, but it's not wide enough. Oh dear. Okay, so it's the glove box is deep, but it's not wide enough. That's the point. Then over here you get cup holders, and you get this micro area for storage. You get your wireless telephone storage right here, and 2 points down there. Very nice. Over here you get your USB point, everyone. And then over here is not your central console storage. Actually, this was intended for the rear seat, but you can slide it to the front and to the back with this rail line over here, guys. So no central console storage. You just have to dump everything in the middle right here. Oh well, not bad, not bad. I mean, it's good. I actually think it's fine. Very nice. You get this nice armrest for the driver's seat and the passenger seat. Otherwise, you can always fold it up if you don't need it. I personally need it because I like it. Door bin is actually quite nice, and I'm sure you can fit a big water bottle in there. Otherwise, it's quite deep there. And then you get some additional space right here. Oh, look, you get nice lighting above right there. It's so cool. It's like what you'd see on a camera or on a... Well, looks very nice, but there's that. I mean, that's all that's going on up there, guys. There's no storage up here. Or, oh, yes, guys, you get electric seats and seating memory. Now, that's very, very good. All right, guys, I have to say I was very happy with this interior. Very big step ahead for Volkswagen. Very, very promising turn of pages to a new chapter. But then at the same time, for every new chapter, there's also going to be questionable aspects. And I've already noticed some questionable aspects about this interior. And if you want me to be honest, I'm a tiny bit alarmed. The interior is stunning, don't get me wrong. This is the gear and everything, it's very nice. I really like the concept that Volkswagen employed for this T7. But Volkswagen seems to have gone down a different path when it comes to logic, because things usually tend to be logically laid out in Volkswagen, but in this Transporter 7, things are different. Like, for example, you get no big storage in the center here, guys. There's nowhere, there doesn't seem to be much storage solution, surprisingly. Like, you get this storage solution, which is good, but it's not big enough. And then the glove box was not deep enough. Like, well, I mean, it was deep, but it was not wide enough, if you know what I'm trying to say. And then there was no central console storage, because this is clearly something that can be moved to the back and everything. By the way, this is the tray and everything for the rear seat, so it's like an airplane. It's good, but it's for the rear seat, not for the driver's seat. And then over here, it's nice, but you don't get any storage right here, guys. This is just a cup holder, and this is not a storage, because when it folds up, the cup holders eat up that storage space. So it's a bit, yes, some things are missing out, guys. And then also, this is just your... And also, there doesn't seem to be much going on over here, guys. It's almost as if this was an afterthought, because this pad right here, the wireless recharge pad, covers the USB points. So at first I did not even know there was something underneath. So something about this area seems afterthought-ish. Another questionable aspect I'd like to point out is that the parking brake seems a little too far away from the driver's seat. Usually I like it when I have my back straight and then I get to touch something here to engage the parking brake, or maybe touch a button here. But Volkswagen has it all the way there, so I have to bend my back and reach the parking brake. Where the days were better when the parking brake used to be here, you know, a mechanical one. But since Volkswagen decided to go simplistic, why not just put a parking brake onto the driver's seat, like right here? Boink! You know, something like that. But, yes, I'm going to try understanding something here, guys. And then I also noticed something a little bit alarming. There's no storage solution over here. This fooled me, actually. This is not a storage solution. This is a fuse box. Why does Volkswagen put a conspicuous fuse box right here? Ease of maintenance is an advantage. But then when it comes to purpose or use, you all be the judge. I noticed something interesting, guys. 81,000 euros, and you only get window buttons for the front, for the driver and the front passenger. But have you noticed there's no button to open the rear windows? You all may be thinking, oh, that's because there's a latch, or oh, because it's a luxury for 81,000 euros or something. No, guys. Apparently, the windows are not armored. There's no luxury feature for the rear. Apparently the rear windows just don't open at all. That's the point, guys. There's nothing special about the rear windows. They just don't open. I find it questionable because 81,000 euros, guys. And this is all you get. And also for price of 81,000 euros, you would expect a storage solution up here, or even a panoramic roof or something, but nothing is going on over here. Sound enthusiasts, you guys are going to love it because this has a Harman Kardon. Yay! That's good. But the only questionable aspect I like to point out is that for some reason you don't get any extra storage space up here. Now, it was always traditional for vans to have a storage solution over here, you know? Something that would open, you know, a little cubby or something. But Volkswagen doesn't have it for some reason. They just have a big, proud lump of plastic over there that has no purpose whatsoever. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, the front of the window is far away from the driver's seat. It's too spacious. Oh yes, everyone, these are the rear seats of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. You can actually walk in this entire van. Oh yes, and this thing can slide backwards, guys, so comfort is in the favor of the rear seats as well. And speaking of comfort, you get to heat up the rear seats as well, so this is a really nice feature. It's very nice in the back, actually, quite luxurious, and I really like the leather. So I saw the front seats as well, and I'm going to tell you the same about the back seats. The leather is grey, but you get the beige top. So I really like this combination. This is a very common Volkswagen combination. I saw this with the Passat since the very beginning, back in the 2000s. So legroom, knee room, and headroom is something I don't even need to cover because it's too spacious in here. Everything is literally a kilometer away from me. So space is not something to even discuss about. We cannot discuss about space, but what we can discuss about is value for money, everyone. So let's think value for money. Practicality, storage, everyone. Okay, so this is the door. Over there you'd have the nice trim and everything, but the back windows don't open, guys. So I found that questionable, but then again, you all be the judge. You get a nice door bin though, which is good, right? And then you get this nice rear seat pocket. The rear seat pocket is a bit small though, it just won't stretch that much. But you get this nice tray right here, guys. So this is how it works. You just have to pull this gently. Okay, and then you have to pull it gently down. If you have to put this button right here if you want to push this thing down. It's very nice, very practical, especially when you want to have your lunch at the back, especially on a road trip. And then you get extra storage solution right here. Now this storage solution is so good, it's really deep, but then at the same time I feel like, and you get extra cup holders right there as well. I wonder if there's some extra storage in there, like, you know, as if you can open this whole thing and store something. I mean, if that was the case, that would be so good. By the way, I like the view of the front from here. Like, look at this. Wow, the front looks so nice, so scenic. So on the bright side, you get your climate control all the way up here. And you have your air vents right here, your beacon of hope lighting, and I believe this is for your hook. Alright guys, I was very impressed with the rear seats of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. But I have to say, I also noticed some questionable aspects. And well, first of all, let's talk about the positive. On the positive side, I have to say it looks premium, looks very good, looks like something promising. But for a price of 81,000 euros, the quality is on its side. That's one thing I can say already. It's very promising with the leather and with the beige everywhere. It's so good. Very nice theme. But for a price of 81,000 euros, equipment, guys, equipment. The rear windows must open. And then also one thing I'd like to point out is just the way things are laid out. I'm going to show you all what I'm talking about. So this is me. I'm sitting at the rear passenger seat and I have to control the climate controls. Why didn't Volkswagen put this over here so that everyone can control it, including the people at the back seat? Like, Volkswagen kept it all the way there, so I have to bend my back each time to reach to it. Yes, it's a bit questionable, but maybe I'm wrong about something. Please excuse me if maybe there's something I need to know. But then also another thing I'd like to point out, guys, is that there's no panoramic roof or sunroof for 81,000 euros. Standards of a minibus that aspires to be premium. To have this as your handle to help you out, in my opinion, it's a little bit questionable because many competitors offer minibuses or cars which have solid handles like this, you know, that are like something you hold on to, like this, but for the interior. I have this in my Nissan Navara as well, so I was wondering why doesn't Volkswagen offer this on their minibus, which they prided themselves with? Like, why do they offer just a strap like this? This looks like something I've seen on public transports. As for the boot space, I don't need to cover it because we all know the story. By the way, the rear seats and all the seats are detachable. You can remove the seats, so you can convert this into a van, a cargo van if you need to. And then you have the tether points down there, so this is already a plus. Very good. You get 12-volt sockets over there as well, and you get a trailer hitch. Just one last questionable aspect I'd like to remark is that for a price of 81,000 euros, the rear door seems very basic, like especially from the interior, guys. You get lighting like these. simple lighting, and you just get this strap right here. That's, yeah, in my opinion, this looks like something I've seen in, well, I mean, you get buttons to close this rear door, but wouldn't it be more interesting if there's more details, like maybe a pocket or maybe a door that opens, you know, for storage? It would have been more interesting if something smarter was done about this rear door, because at the moment, I don't see much going on. So here's my conclusion of the Volkswagen T7 Multivan. I have to say, this has to be one of the most promising developments by the Volkswagen Group. This is a new chapter for the Volkswagen Group, and I'm very, very happy, especially for Volkswagen. I am very proud of how far Volkswagen has gone, and that to the Germans, they never innovate, but they always aim for perfection, and they always stick to their guns. Once they start a project, they stick to it. But then it's one thing to stick to your guns, but then it's also another thing to stick to a reputation, let's say. But then again, we'll cover that later. First, let's cover the conclusions. So one thing I have to say is that it seems like Volkswagen has gone all modern with this T7. They've gone with the same concept as with the Volkswagen Golf, which has aimed to be as buttonless as possible. So less physical buttons, more touch screen. So we're talking soft touches and modernization of everything, you know, fancy screens and such. Very nice. I understand what Volkswagen was trying, but was it really worth it? You all be the judge. Price of 81,000 euros. Is this Volkswagen Transporter 7 Multivan good value for money or not? Yeah, guys, I have to say this Volkswagen Transporter 7 Multivan is okay value for money. The thing is, I'm inclined to say good value for money because it is rich with identity. This van has to be one of the most interesting vans because it looks exactly like its predecessor. It reminds me of the T3. In fact, I almost fell to tears when I saw this because it just reminded me of my childhood. It's so strong with memories. When I was a kid, at my school, there used to be the Volkswagen T3 minibuses. And when I saw this, it just reminded me of it. My opinion of this Volkswagen T7 Multivan. Oh, I love it. I love this Volkswagen T7 Multivan. Rich with identity, and it reminds me of the past. Every angle of this minibus reminds me of previous Volkswagen Transporter models. The T1 all the way down to the T6. And this is exactly what I love about Volkswagen. They always stick to their guns when it comes to design. They always maintain an identity. But it's one thing to maintain an identity, and it's also another thing to maintain a reputation for community, guys. Yes, prices have changed, times have changed, generations have changed, environmental initiatives have become stronger. But there's one thing that hasn't changed. The love for Volkswagen, the love for identity. And this is something I really love about Volkswagen. But if there's something I just would like to add, Volkswagen, please come back to us. Please come back to the good old days where your transporters used to be so relatable to all of us. Yes, it's true, I did say it was questionable about the equipment's missing and then the storage spaces that were not so interesting, and then also some parts like the rear boot which had this big plastic that had no purpose. But then there's only one thing I can say. This is a new chapter for Volkswagen, and the best thing we can do is support Volkswagen. Alright? We need to be with Volkswagen. But at the same time, Volkswagen must understand they have to be appealing to all of us. And so for that, all I would like to say is wait till the pages turn and we'll see what develops, guys. Who knows? As the pages go further, more things get interesting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. And don't forget to check the links in the description for my car reviews and my travel videos. Bye!